Hi, my name is Brooke Michael, and I'm one of the advisors for the University of Michigan-Flint School of Nursing. And today we want to talk to you about some of our undergraduate nursing certificate opportunities. So we're going to start off today talking about the different certificate opportunities that we have. The first one we're going to discuss is case management. So our case management certificate is for either a student that currently holds their BSN or for a student that is currently enrolled in one of the University of Michigan-Flint's BSN programs, whether that's a traditional BSN program, accelerated second degree, veterans, or RN to BSN program. Those students can take these certificates concurrently with their BSN, or you can do it post-graduation. You do not have to be a University of Michigan-Flint graduate of our BSN program to do these certificates, but you do need to either hold your BSN already from either our institution or another, or you need to be concurrently enrolled in one of our BSN programs. So with case management certificate, this is for students that want to work in case management, which has to do with healthcare law and regulations, delivery systems, accreditation standards, etc. So that is going to be for students that want to work in places like hospitals, outpatient clinics, insurance companies, or disease management organizations. Our other undergraduate certificate opportunity is in leadership and management. This is the same as case management as far as that you either need to hold your BSN from our university or another, or you need to be concurrently enrolled in one of our BSN programs. So this certificate is for any student that's really wanting to go into a leadership or managerial role. So a lot of our students end up being unit leaders, nurse educators, or just any sort of management type position within the healthcare organizations. Our other undergraduate certificate opportunity is in healthcare informatics. So this certificate, unlike the other two, you can be an associate's degree nurse and complete this certificate. So this certificate, you can hold your BSN, be concurrently enrolled in one of our BSN programs, or be an associate's degree nurse. So as long as you are one of those categories, you can do this certificate. So these certificates are for students that want to learn more about healthcare informatics. And so this has to do with patient safety, delivery and healthcare systems, quality assurance, and nursing processes that help connect that clinical and technology perspectives. So a lot of these students end up working in hospitals, healthcare facilities, consulting firms, or universities and corporations. We also offer a graduate level certificate in healthcare simulation. So this is, again, a certificate that our students can do either after they've graduated with a bachelor's degree, and this bachelor's degree can be in any healthcare related field. It doesn't have to be nursing. It can be in a different healthcare related field. Or again, our students can take this program concurrently with their undergraduate degree. So if you are in a University of Michigan BSN program, for example, you can be taking 2 of the 4 classes while you're in your undergrad. So there's 4 total courses in this certificate. This is typically a graduate level certificate at graduate level tuition. And if you're in our program, then you can take 2 of those classes, the first 2 classes, 503 and 504. You can take those in your undergraduate program at the undergraduate tuition cost. Then when you graduate with your BSN, you can go ahead and take the final 2 classes. Those would be at the graduate level cost, but you're getting graduate level certificate and only paying part of it at the undergraduate cost. You can also use one of these classes as your nursing elective. So let's talk about some of the common questions that a lot of students have. So do I have to be a University of Michigan-Flint graduate to complete that certificate? So as I mentioned in all of the certificates, the answer is no. You do not have to graduate from our university to complete one of the certificates. As I mentioned before, the graduate healthcare certificate, you do have to have either a bachelor's degree, doesn't have to be nursing, but you do need a bachelor's degree from a university, or be concurrently enrolled in one of our BSN programs. With the healthcare informatics certificate, as I mentioned before, you can either do it concurrently with your BSN program, or you need to have earned a bachelor's degree or have your associate's degree in nursing. With the case management certificate, if you have your BSN, and this is also with the leadership and management certificate, you either need to hold your BSN from our institution or another, or you need to be concurrently enrolled in one of our BSN programs. When can I start? So students can start any semester, fall, winter, spring, or summer. You can even take time off. You can kind of go through the certificates as quickly or as slowly as you want. And you can take time off if you need to, as long as you don't take off more than a year, you are not required to readmit into the program. As I mentioned before, if you are a current BSN student at the University of Michigan-Flint, you can do these certificates concurrently. Can I transfer courses in for the certificate? Yes, you can have an exact course equivalency waived, but one thing you want to keep in mind, and we're going to go over the classes in each of these certificates in a couple of slides, but one thing you want to keep in mind is that you have to complete at least 9 credits from the University of Michigan-Flint in order to have a certificate from us. So if you've completed your bachelor's degree with us or are in the process of completing your bachelor's degree with us, this isn't going to be an issue. The only time this becomes an issue is if you're transferring in from another institution and you want to transfer in one of these classes. You still have to have a total of at least 9 credits from the university in order to have a certificate from us. So is this certificate a University of Michigan certificate? Yes, you will graduate with 2 things. One, the certificate will be on your transcripts from the University of Michigan, and you will also receive a certificate in the mail. Can these certificate classes be completed online? Yes, all of the classes in the certificate are online classes. Can these certificate courses be used as continuing education? In the state of Michigan, the answer is yes. So you can have 5 continuing education credit hours per college credit hour. So for example, if you're taking a 3 credit hour course, you could get up to 15 credits in continuing education. If you are outside the state of Michigan, you want to kind of check your state's regulations and rules on this to see if you can use it as continuing education. Are the instructors from the University of Michigan? Yes, all of the classes are online, but they are the same instructors as if you came to main campus. So let's talk about further getting your certification. So if you want to be nationally certified in one of these areas, the content that you receive in these certificates is tailored to the national accrediting exams. So I'm listing out here the different national accrediting exams for leadership and management, case management, nursing, healthcare informatics, and the healthcare simulation certificate. What you want to keep in mind is with those first 3 that I talked about, the undergraduate ones, the leadership and management, the case management, and the healthcare informatics certificate, some of those national accrediting exams require that you have so many hours in the field. Since there are no clinicals in those 3 undergraduate certificates, you would have to use your work experience on some of those national certifications. So keep that in mind, that you would want to look into see what sort of work experience you need to have before you can set for those exams. But the content you learn in the classes is tailored to these exams so that you can be successful in them. For healthcare simulation, you will get the hours. That certificate, you do need to come to Flint. The content, the courses are online, but you do come to Flint a few times a year for that healthcare simulation. So that's where you're getting those hours in so that you will be prepared to set for that exam, including the hours required. So let's talk about the courses that are required in each of these certificates. So in the undergraduate certificate in leadership management is the first one. You'll see that there are 4 classes in each of the certificates. So each certificate has 4 courses. The first one, you'll notice that there are red asterisks next to the top 3. Those are the undergraduate certificates. The red asterisk means that those classes are built into the current curriculum of our BSN program. So if you are a BSN student, you will have taken 420 or the equivalent of our 420 and 370. So those 2 classes will be met. If you are a student from long ago that graduated, excuse me, with their BSN, you should have still had 420. It may have had a different number, it may have been 430, and that's totally fine. You may not or may not have already had 370. It just depends on how long ago you graduated with your BSN from the university. If you are a current student, nursing 380 can be used as your nursing elective, and then you'll choose one from those categories. Those can potentially transfer in, or You can take them with us online. So if you are coming from another institution with all of these certificates, if you know that you've had like a leadership and management class or a health policy class or something like that, you absolutely can transfer that in. But keep in mind, again, that leadership and management class, if you already took it, you can transfer it in, but you'll notice then that health policy, immersion, and those other courses, they don't total 9 credits. And remember, as we talked about before, you have to complete at least 9 credits. So you would need 1 other credit. We have some 1 credit nursing electives that you could potentially take to get to that rule. With the undergraduate certificate in case management, same scenario, NSC 393 and Nursing 366, case management for healthcare professionals and theory and principles are required courses. You can use those as a nursing elective if you are a BSN student currently. 370 and 412 should be built into your program. It may be 410 back in the day, or if you're a traditional student, could potentially look like 410. That counts as well as your community. Again, you can transfer these classes in, but again, needs to add up to 9 credits. And then in the healthcare informatics, 373 technology in healthcare can be used as your nursing elective, along with the fact that it meets technology for general education if you're doing your bachelor's degree. And then you'll take 452 legal and ethical application and health information. 345 is a required course in the current curriculum, and then 480. With the graduate healthcare simulation, you'll see the 2 asterisks next to the first 2 classes. And as I mentioned before, those 2 classes can be taken concurrently with your BSN in your final year at the university. You'll just work closely with your advisor, and you can use one of those classes as your nursing elective. So let's talk about, we got a couple of different slides here on next steps. So it depends on what category you're in. So this is the next steps you would take if you have graduated with your BSN from the University of Michigan-Flint or from another institution. You're going to apply at umflint.edu/apply. The application is free and good for a year. You'll click that transfer student and then first time user creation. You're going to select undergraduate and then transfer student. And then under the academic interest, that's where you're going to select the certificate you're interested in, whichever of those 3 undergraduate certificates that you're interested in. This is not for the healthcare simulation because that's graduate level. So that's for those other 3. So next step, if you graduated from with your BSN from another university, or if you graduated with your associate's degree and you're doing the healthcare informatics certificate, remember that you will need to send in your transcripts. If you are a University of Michigan-Flint graduate or current student, no transcripts needed. This is only for if you've graduated from another program. So here is our address where you can mail or email transcripts. We can admit you with unofficial transcripts at this time, but at some point you do need to send in an official copy from all colleges attended. And then you would book with an advisor to discuss what classes you have left to take to complete the certificate. So let's talk about that graduate level healthcare simulation certificate if you've already graduated. So this is, again, none of this has to do with our current students. If you're a current student, hold on. None of this is applicable to you on the next steps. We're going to get to it in just a second. So if you're a healthcare simulation certificate, you're going to apply in our graduate programs application. There's links to all of this in the slideshow, or you can find this information on our website. You'll need to send in your transcripts, 2 letters of recommendations, your resume, and your statement of purpose. And so you'll send all of that into that email address at the top there where it says flintgradoffice@umich.edu. So now you're a current University of Michigan-Flint student. So if you are a current University of Michigan-Flint student, all you have to do to add one of the undergraduate certificates is to add it to your SIS. So you're going to log into SIS and follow these step-by-step instructions. I'm not going to read all of this to you. You can read this on your own. You will also get the slideshow presentation emailed to you, so you can look at it in that slide. Otherwise, you can always email one of your advisors and we will send you these step-by-step instructions on how to add one of the certificates to your SIS. The one thing you need to keep in mind is that you have to add the certificate. You can't just take the classes. You have to add the certificate to your SIS to graduate with it. And on top of that, when you go to graduate, you must fill out 2 applications, one for your BSN and one for the certificate. So don't forget that when you go to apply to graduate, that you need to fill out multiple applications, one for the certificates, one for the BSN. And if you're doing 2 certificates, for example, if you're doing case management and leadership and management, that would be 3 applications. So for each certificate and each degree, you must apply to graduate, even if you don't plan on attending a ceremony. So booking an appointment, all of this goes for everybody now. So anyone that wants to book an appointment, you can visit our website, online.umflint.edu, click the book an appointment website button. We offer virtual and phone appointments every Monday through Friday. We have extended hours on Monday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We do offer currently some face-to-face appointments in Flint, Port Huron, and Lansing. Those locations have opened back up. The Harper Woods, Detroit, and Livonia are not open at this time. So tuition and financial aid. So the certificate tuition for those 3 undergraduate ones are, of course, at the undergraduate tuition rate. The graduate certificate is at graduate tuition rate, unless you're doing it concurrent, the first two classes concurrently with your BSN. If you are using federal financial aid, you want to do it concurrently with your BSN to be able to use that federal financial aid. Otherwise, you want to check with your employer to see if they will do tuition reimbursement. So this is the advisors that you can work with when you book an appointment. You can book with any of us. You're not assigned a specific advisor. You can work with whoever has a time slot available for you that works best for you. Again, I am Brooke. You'll see Tiffany, Stephanie, and Jennifer. You can meet with any of us. So we want to say thank you for joining us today to learn more about the University of Michigan Flint's undergraduate certificate opportunities. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact any of us on that previous slide, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.